is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it. Watch this.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. Christian murder scum, they're on giant death factories keeping babies alive.
What? Oh, you taking the audio off? Alex Jones rants as an indie folk song for people that are just listening to this. You gotta Google this because we removed the sound from YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Eat babies. We want to eat babies. We love Satan. We want to eat babies. I have them on video. That's just what you just said. I have Hillary Clinton on video. Look at his face. Listen to this. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. It's a song. Literal vampire potbelly goblins.
Come on.
Oh my God. I think there's something about his struggle right now that's representative of the chaotic world that we live in. That he does have this giant voice, that he does have this giant following, and that it is this his actual words come out in song like that and are so hysterical, and that they think that somehow or another yanking this guy off all these platforms is going to remove it. Do they understand the Streisand effect? Because this is just there's going to be another way. But
what's the Streisand effect?
Barbara Streisand had a house in Malibu, this giant ass house. They took pictures of it. And she went apeshit and, complained to all these, newspapers and complained to the police and everything that they're taking photos of her house and get the fuck out of here. I'm Barbara Streisand. And because of that, it became a giant story that Barbara Streisand is pissed if someone's showing her house. And they're like, well, it must be a hell of a house. Where is it? And then there it is. The Streisand effect is a phenomenon. There's the house whereby an attempt to hide, remove, or censor a piece of information has the unintended consequence of publicizing the information more wildly, usually facilitated by the internet.
Okay.
Yeah. They want to eat babies.
No, I thought you guys... But again, people make the false equation. Oh, you're defending Alex Jones. I'm not defending.
You're defending free speech.
I'm defending free speech, and I understand the argument that, hey, it's a private corporation. I get that. I get that. But if you took a look at the bigger picture, everyone thinks the internet should be a public utility. I mean, most people do.
Right.
And that's what they're upset, that they're not treating it like a public utility. Obama administration did. They decided to at the last minute. And so if you think the internet should be a public utility, I think YouTube and Facebook should be a public utility also.
But there's an opening for other people to make their own YouTube. Make a version of it. If you have sufficient capital.
But you don't. And if you do start it, they'll just buy you out. Like I just showed you the example of WhatsApp they give you $19 billion or whatever they paid for. It was some crazy. So they just eat up their competition. So right now we need a Teddy Roosevelt to come along and break up all these monopolies. It's never going to happen. The end of the empire is coming.
So here's the question. Is there a valid parallel, a valid comparison? Are there people that have things that are more hateful that are on YouTube that haven't been deplatformed? Is it the influence that he has that's terrifying? Is it the fact that he's a figurehead for this kind of stuff? Is that what it is? that this whole InfoWars movement is, in some people's mind, a figurehead for this pro-Trump thing that they're trying to stop and silence? Like, what is it?
I don't know. It's very curious that it all happened at the same time, right? And because there's a in 1996 there was a law passed that actually insulates the platforms from being sued. Did you know that? So like
platform. So if someone puts up something,
and so like say he puts something up that leads to someone getting killed, right, on
YouTube,
Facebook. You can't sue YouTube. Right. You can't sue Facebook for it. That's in that 1996 law. So there's that. So I get that they're a private company, but again, they have the protection now of the law. Right. They have Congress protecting them, so they have that's a type of regulation. You're regulated from. You can't sue them.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm looking for this tweet by Glenn Greenwald that really, because if we're going to take down, here, I'll find it. Here it is. He says, there's been a tactic of censors for centuries. They start with someone who is so utterly hated and marginalized that everyone is blinded by their hatred for the first censorship target that they cheer and forget that they're endorsing a principle and power that will then expand.
Yeah.
And so
First they came for the Jews.
Yeah, right now we're allowing the whim of billionaires in the middle of the night to decide who gets to be on these monopolistic platforms and who doesn't. Yeah. If there was 10 YouTubes, no one would care. But there isn't. There's one YouTube, there's one Facebook, and they are monopolies, and that's the world we live in right now. And that's why they're doing whatever the government wants them to, because they don't want the government to regulate them. That's why he went there and was sipping the water like that and trying to make eye contact and be nice, because he doesn't want them to regulate him. He'll do it Julian Assange in 2010 gave a speech, which I saw recently on a plane, where he predicted this. He was like, the corporations are an extension of the government, and they will do the censorship in the future, and that's exactly what's happening right now.
So do you think it's the government that's censoring Alex Jones? Because I would think that the government that's in power currently would want to keep Alex Jones in position, because he's a supporter of Trump. He's a supporter of,
Why is Trump going after Julian Assange? Is it because he's afraid he'll expose him someday?
I don't know.
Why is he allowing the CIA to do that, to go after Julian Assange? And that just shows you how shitty the journalists are in America, because not one of them are standing up for Julian Assange, and they're all pretending that when Trump says mean things about Jim Acosta, that somehow that's this unbelievable violation of our freedom of speech and our press. And these guys, you son of a bitch, you don't care. If you cared about freedom of the press, you would say something about Julian Assange, and no one is saying, what lie has Julian Assange ever printed? Never
been proved.
Never. What did Julian Assange do? He revealed that our election was being rigged by the Democratic Party, not Russia, but by the Democratic Party, and that is a sin you can't commit. You cannot tell the truth about the powerful, and that's what's happening right now. And he revealed the CIA has all those spying techniques. That they can get your TV to listen to you, your phone, Vault 7, all that stuff. He revealed that's why they want to get him. And Trump, I just think that Trump is just,